Welcome back, everyone. We are the doctors, the funnel doctors. Where's my funnel thing? We are the funnel doctors, and today we fix your funnel. Thank you. You gave us around 12 funnels over the last days. Peter Sandeen, everyone, and myself, Simon Severino, will fix a funnel today, and over the next weeks, we will fix all funnels that you send us in. Today's funnel is sent into the Sprint Club from Portugal by Neil Ferrimont. Morning, everyone. I've taken some time to carefully think about the flow and messaging of my website. My previous version wasn't very good. To end that, I've rebuilt mine from scratch. I'm not a web designer, but I did my best. Let me know what works and what doesn't. So let's do this, right? Let's help Neil and doctor his funnel. Peter, where do we start?
Well, I think we have slightly different ways to approach this. I look at first, is it clear what this is about? You think of, is it meant for me as the visitor? Basically the same idea. I think the general concept is really clear. That's not an issue here, although I would question why is there no video on a page about making video easy or live streaming easy. So for a brief moment, I looked at it and wondered, wait, I thought you said live stream, but there's only a picture. I was so expecting a video that it seemed just a little jarring that it wasn't a video. But I think like as a starting point, this is fine. It's clear what this is about. That's not an issue. And also to some degree who this is meant for is, I think that's where it starts to break down for me. I'm not sure from, the first 3 seconds or 2 seconds, is this for business owners? Is this for aspiring streamers? Is this for people who just need to do Zoom meetings? Who is this for? So I think that's my first concern.
We're looking at the website of Neil Ferrimont, and it says, stop wrestling with live stream tech, start building your authority. Personal technical guidance that turns content overwhelm into creator confidence. No expensive gear, no steep learning curve. And the call to action is start your transformation. Now, the reason why, the slight difference between our way is I start first with who is it for and then what is it for? Because if I look at this and this is not for me, I move on. I never scroll down. I never get to my second question, which is, what is it for? Is this relevant to me? Can it get me anywhere? And so right now, you're right. We don't know who exactly it is for. We have a hint. It's for creators. But we don't have creators as an example here. We see somebody. We see a testimonial, Dr. Andrea Hollingsworth, PhD. But we don't know exactly what her role is, her business, if she's a creator or something else. She could be an academic, right? We don't really know right now who it is exactly for.
Yeah, and we can see the next headline now. If someone is looking down or scrolling down a little, it says why entrepreneurs choose Neil. So that starts to tell a bit more. I think the first concern for me is using the phrase creator, because in my experience, entrepreneurs typically don't think of themselves as content creators. They think of themselves as business owners or consultants or something else, and they look at the phrase content creator and thinks, oh, that's a YouTuber, that's an Instagram influencer. And I think that might be already a bit of a disconnect. But also, I think the big question for me is the second part of the headline, start building your authority. It's just a little unclear. For someone who thinks about this, it's, I think, obvious that, well, you're thinking of once you have all this content, you're building authority with it. But I think that's a bit far-fetched. I think the headline would need to be a little more specific to what people are already concerned about. And the main part of it, or the first part of it, stop wrestling with live stream tech, is fine. That's okay. But I think the second part would need to be something about an actual more obvious outcome or some concern people have. I would really think of this in terms of get X without Y, as in get outcome you want without something you don't want. I would imagine that that would be a pretty safe benchmark headline formula for what this is about.
I like that. And if then there is this A to B, so get this without that, now the call to action can become smaller, because right now I think it's a big ask. Start your transformation. Now you're asking from me to commit to a whole transformation without me seeing exactly right now what the transformation is and what the first step towards that transformation is. It's an easier ask following your idea, Peter. It says, get this without that. And now, okay, what's the first step? Ask me for that first step. For example, find out how to get there, or assess this criteria, or get your first 3 meters done today. Make it smaller for me, or even maybe find out more. But this is a big ask. I should start my transformation now. I have so many questions. I don't know you. So
Yep.
I'm hesitant to start a full transformation at this point.
Yeah, I would generally suggest that the first thing you show on I mean, this is a consultant or coach. I would generally suggest that you start your homepage with actually an opt-in offer. So something people have to give their email for so that they get some free resource. And those generally, the ones that I suggest, either they are either the lead magnet, the thing that people opt in for, give their email address for, is something that tells the whole process on a high level, like what are the big picture steps for them to take to reach their outcome, or it is a more deep dive into the very immediate question they have. It can be the first step in the process, or it can be just whatever question they have right now that they want an answer to, that you can answer very quickly. I mean, very, very quickly, but still in a way that makes them think, oh yeah, that's a perfect answer. Because both of these options give them a lot of reason to believe that you actually can help them reach their goals. One of them, the full process, makes it clear that, well, you have a clear process, and hopefully you've included testimonials and examples that show that others have actually reached the results they want, or others have reached the results that I want, because that makes me much more likely to want to buy. Or if you're able to fully answer a question that I've struggled with, and you can do it in a minute or 5, brilliant, you clearly know something. So if you claim that you're able to solve another thing for me, I have a pretty good reason to believe that's true.
I love it. So now we have, who is it for? We know in the second stage, he calls them, it's for entrepreneurs. In the first part, he says it's for creators. And so I think we will have to pick a fight. Who are we here to serve? Who is the ideal client? And how do they call themselves? So do they identify themselves as primarily an entrepreneur, a creator, or maybe even something else? We ran an A/B test once because we have a similar ideal client, and we ran an A/B test once, and they resonated most with founder. So you might A/B test founder, entrepreneur, creator. Maybe it's the same person, but they resonate. They call themselves differently, right? And we did a second A/B test later and found out that our people, they don't like founder. They like CEO better. Even if they just have 3 employees, they identify as a CEO because they have all the roles of a CEO, all the responsibilities of a full-fledged CEO. And founder for them is always, okay, yeah, my first years I was a founder, but now I'm established. I have an established continuous business. It's not changing all the time. I don't feel like a founder now. I feel like the guy who's responsible to run this. And so I guess he will have to pick a fight here. Is it creator, entrepreneur, business owner, founder? A few options, right? And then what is it for? I think that is clear now. He helps them get from tech overwhelm to creator confidence on camera. You have some question marks, like what does it really do? But maybe if we scroll a little bit more. Now we want to find out, can it get me somewhere? Is this valuable? Do I want it? Let's see. When we scroll down, we have eight
Your screen isn't
testimonials.
updating.
Oh yeah, Thanks.
There we go.
So if we scroll down, we have a testimonial, which is great. Why entrepreneurs choose Neil. Skip the learning curve, personalized for your setup. Results you can see immediately.
I think the biggest thing I would say for this entire page that kind of affects all of the questions that we're going to ask is, why can't I just immediately see a before and after? Like, that would just tell me exactly what it is that I can get. I can immediately self-identify as, oh yeah, in that before, that's what my live streams look like. And the after picture, that's what I want them to look like. And the person looks happy and they tell in a 5-second clip, this is all thanks to Neil. Like, within 10 seconds, you could basically give me a crystal clear idea of, this is for me, it solves a problem I have, it gives me the outcome I want, and someone says, this was great and thanks to this person. Like,
so we might put it here, somebody before and then somebody after.
Yeah, I would probably just replace Neil's picture with a short video. It doesn't even need to be super short, but just a short video where it starts. I literally would start with nothing else than immediately before and after, maybe even put a split screen to show both, and then show that for 10 seconds, maybe 5 seconds, something like really just quickly, and then a 5 to 10 or 15-second clip of that same person giving a testimonial of how their feelings changed and how their results have changed as an outcome or as a result of having improved their live streams. That would, I mean, it would solve a lot of the challenges that this page currently has. And if you just did that with no other changes, I think that would make a bigger difference than basically all the other changes we can suggest. Because this is ultimately an incredibly visual thing. I would want to see the difference, because I think people are going to come up with all sorts of excuses or objections or worries or doubts, however you want to call them, for why they wouldn't buy. And it's specifically why this wouldn't work for me. That's what people easily think of. If they don't see an example, they can think of, well, I'm sure he helps different kinds of people, or I'm sure that he helps people who can spend a lot on equipment, or I'm sure the people he helps, they're not as terrible as I am at this stuff, or I'm sure even if he works, it does, or even if it works, it's hard to implement, or even if it works, it doesn't create more sales, or even if it, just having an example would kind of take away most of that. So that's why I'm so heavily pushing for it. And I am not someone who very often says, slap a video on the homepage immediately. Yeah, it's not bad most of the time, but it's not my first advice.
It could be 2 images, right? The first one is me on camera, but it's kind of gray, boorish. It lacks contrast. It doesn't have great lights. And then there is a second one, me with contrast, great lights, interesting background, well lit, etc. It's an interesting image, and you see that it's the same person, right? From boring to kind of cool and interesting. That might express it, just 2 images. Or maybe you split it in half. It's 1 image and it goes, this is the boring part. And then you see, oh, wow, that's what you can do. And it's the same image.
I would still suggest video because this is about live stream video, but I agree with the principle. Even a picture, before and after picture, would be significantly better than just a picture of the person. Yes, we want to see Neil. I mean, it's good to have your picture on a page when it's branded around you, but we don't care about you until we know that this is relevant for us.
Yeah.
So hence, I would deprioritize your face, and even that's why I said if you have a video, I would literally just immediately, with no other context, immediately start from before, after, and then show a testimonial, and only then start showing Neil, because he's just not relevant until I, the visitor, know that I'm interested.
It's much later that we become relevant. Right now, it's about them, right? Is it for me? Where can it bring me? What? Let's go through our questions. Can it get me somewhere? So can it make me look better, present better, get across better? Now, do I want it? Let's see. Now I start to trust him, right? And it says, how can I help you be a better creator? Choose the package. We have a Kickstart package, Camera Confidence Kickstart, Ecamm Live Starter, Virtual Presence Foundations. Get camera ready, start streaming today, elevate my authority. So with streaming comes a new angle. Now it's not just becoming a better presenter, because streaming is much more than that. Streaming is, so much can go wrong. It's live TV. Like we are on live TV right now. So much can go wrong, and 99% of our friends and competitors and colleagues, they wouldn't do it because it can go wrong. And so you are learning a new skill, actually, which is being uncomfortable with being present for your people and showing up for your people, even if a lot can go wrong. It's a different skill. I don't like that it's so much around a specific tool, Ecamm. I prefer things that are tool agnostics, even if he prefers obviously some tools, but I prefer offers that are tool agnostic and that work also on other tools. Because it's better for him
my
and
guess
for the audience.
or my question would be, is a very significant portion of the audience specifically Ecamm users? If it is nearly everyone, then being tool specific can work, but otherwise definitely I would say being tool agnostic would be the better option. My question would, before looking at actually these, would be, we're not ready to buy at this point on the page. This is just too early to start selling for it to be very effective. So I think very good points that you brought up about the actual offers, but I would just be like, I don't think we should be talking about them even yet on the page. I mean, the page should have other things before getting to those. I would also wonder, as a general thought for a coach or consultant, do you really want to pigeonhole you or make people think of you as someone who does a one-off thing that solves that one thing and then be done? Or do you want to position it as, here's the first step that gets you significantly closer, and then I'm happy to help you further from there? The way that these options were framed really kind of makes me feel like, okay, so I'm thinking of you now as someone that I'm going to spend $135 or $195 or at most the $695 with, and then be on my way. It doesn't make me think of Neil as someone who might be a longer term partner who helps me really achieve the ultimate results I want, as in more sales, more credibility. I mean, ultimately more sales, more profit, given the audience being entrepreneurs. So I think the positioning is also a little bit off. But yeah, go ahead. You were saying about the tool agnostic part, which I agree with, unless Ecamm is specifically the one that almost everyone uses in his audience.
Yeah. And one question about the adding a video at the very beginning, because I hear this all the time. Experts always say video at the beginning of a website. We don't have a video at the beginning of our website because we A/B tested, and people seem to don't have time to watch videos. If they can get to the information faster, they will get to the information faster. And so we A/B tested image with text in it. That's what our people love. And there are people who run teams. So there are CEOs and they have 5 to 50 people on their teams. So they're always busy, right? They try to get to information fast. Now, if he is targeting entrepreneurs, they might be busy, they might, but it's worth testing, right? We could split the website and do A with video and B with image and text in it, or this split image. And probably after 1-2 weeks, he knows which one works. What do you use for A/B testing websites?
Varies. And as I said, by the way, previously, I don't usually recommend a video on the homepage, but because the service is about video, hence I think it would be a natural choice. But yeah, there's a lot of reasonable A/B testing tools. The one that I've used the most is Visual Website Optimizer. I think it's officially nowadays just VWO. There's a lot of them. Honestly, I don't think there's a whole lot of a difference between what you can do with them, unless you have really tricky tracking. Like with one client, we now had to spend quite a time finding one tool that really won't mess up with our dashboards and tracking, because it's really complex. But generally speaking, pick whatever is fine. Pick whatever has a simple A/B testing system. And a lot of, for example, I've used Divi, I think is the name, to build my own website. And there's a built-in system for it. I use Wistia for video hosting. There's a built-in A/B testing system in that. A lot of different systems have a built-in A/B testing system, and you can generally use those. Start with those, and then look at other options if you need them. And you don't need to spend a ton of money on an A/B testing system. A lot of them are extremely expensive. Thousands of dollars a year as a minimum. You don't need that. There's very cheap options, and they can be perfectly fine.
You said it's too early for the offer. We are not ready to buy. We need to know more. Do I want it? Is it worth the risk? Can I trust you? Let's look at that, right? If we are on his page and we scroll, what my customers say, I like this, because now you get to experience, but does it work for me? Okay, maybe it works for somebody in another area or industry or role, but now I can go here, buy, and see people by people. So I would love to see here their industry. So I know that they have a PhD, but that doesn't help me much. I need to see their role. Are they in the same role as I am? And kind of company structure or industry. So if they are in finance and I'm in finance, that's helpful. If they are in tech and I'm in tech, that's helpful. If they are in finance, but they are a manager and I am a CEO, then it's not that helpful. So I need role and industry. What do you need to see in addition to face and name?
I always look at it as, what is it that I, as the target customer, am concerned about? In this situation, I think people are concerned about, is the application similar enough? As in the use case, is it similar enough? Are people doing similar enough live streams that if you're able to help them, then you're able to help me. Similarly, if the goal of the live streams is similar enough to me, that's significant. And if the starting point is similar enough and the goal is similar enough. So if I was the target customer, if I actually was the target customer, I wouldn't care if they work in the same industry, but I would care to see what the starting point is. Because if their starting point is very similar to where I am, and I can see that they went to something much better, I'd be like, okay, here's my money, take it, give me that. Yeah. But if I would see that, well, they started from something much worse than where I am at, that they're clearly much like I'm much further along than them, and they were only able to partially catch up to where I am, that wouldn't help me believe that you can help me. So for me, that would be more relevant and important than the title, because in this case,
how do you see it here? You would have to see their live stream here, like a video of them.
Again, before and afters would be, to me, it just seems like that would be the absolute, no question, here's my money. If I see that you took someone...
Andrea before, Andrea after. Bram before, Bram after.
Yes, exactly. Because that would make it like, okay, so you took these people from where I am currently to where I want to get to. Here's my money. Take me to where you took all these people. Whereas if I would see that all of them were total beginners, whereas I've kind of got things together and I just want to perfect it, that would be like, okay, maybe you don't know how to take me from reasonably good to excellent. But of course, you can have both kinds of examples or many kinds of examples. You can even label it as help from beginners to experts, and then have a beginner, an intermediate, and an expert example, all of them improving significantly. But yeah, to me, before and afters would be just a massive thing.
We want to see them live, and also if it's working, right? So you see the quality of the image, but you see also the engagement that they get, because the big question when going live is always, does it get engagement?
Yeah. I get the feeling that Neil doesn't help with the engagement part of driving traffic there. I might be wrong, but from what I've seen on the homepage, it doesn't make me feel like he's going to help with driving traffic. But seeing things like they're able to engage with the audience that they have, that would be again important, because that's about how you actually conduct the live stream itself.
If we continue on the website, there is a section for workshops and events, and there are live events, online events coming up here that we can register for. There is a community, which is a very interactive blog built on Substack. He calls it Creator Cafe, and it's all around topics that creators have when they want to live stream and go live and go on camera. And it's both a blog and you can interact. You can comment. There is people asking questions. And he calls it community. And then there is a section about me where he describes himself and how we can email him and how we can get personalized guidance. So now we have a little bit more of the funnel.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Well, my big question is, what is the role of all these different things? And how effectively do they drive people to actually buying? And there's no clear answer to this because we don't have the conversion rates and such. We don't have the numbers. But as a guess, and just based on what I've seen otherwise, I think the site structure is probably not very optimized. So I would look at the community and the, what did he call it, workshops and events, and I would see all of those, or let's put it this way, I would see the articles, the so-called community, as a way to drive traffic to his email list. And I would assume that workshops and events would be a way to convert people into paying clients. So everything would initially drive people to the email list, or otherwise his audience. Email list is usually best option, but there's others. And then once he has them in his audience, he could drive people into the free events, free workshops, or maybe even low-cost workshops and events. And on those, make the actual sale, which still could be maybe just the first sale, but still. That's what to me seems like how I would start looking at the different big pieces of how to build a marketing and sales system. And then the website itself, the homepage would primarily, or let's say initially, it would the first goal would be to get people to the email list or to sign up to a free event so that they join the email list ultimately. And then only at the later parts of the page have something saying basically, hey, are you ready to join, or do you want to get quick personal help? Click here to read more. And that would lead to an actual sales page. The reason why I would do it this way is that then the homepage could focus on the most likely conversion, which is just a free join the email list type of thing, usually through some lead magnet. But there's still an option for interested people to click and find out how they can immediately buy. And then the sales page can do a much, much more effective job at converting those visitors into sales. It's more work to build it that way. I mean, you need to have a separate sales page, you need to have a lead magnet, but I would argue it would probably multiply the sales in the end. I'd be very surprised if it didn't apply a multiple to the sales.
I love this. And I think this was really, really a lot of value for Neil. Thank you, Neil Farimond from Portugal, for giving us your funnel to work on. For everybody else, if you want us to have a look at your funnel, just give it to us. You can send it to Simon Severino, Peter Sandeen. You can find us everywhere. What's the best way to reach you, Peter?
Well, my website is petersandeen.com. Sandeen is sand, E-E-N, sandeen.com.
So, and we're happy to pick them up if you send them to us. And to spend 10-20 minutes on them like we did for Neil. Thank you, Peter, for doing this. See you next week. And everybody, have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Avoid trying to do thousands of things that doesn't work. We have 274 templates for your business success. Reach your ambitious goals with one-on-one sprint coach. We double your revenue in 90 days.
What if your business would run well even when you are on vacation? Discover how 1,600 business owners have regained their freedom using the Strategy Sprints blueprints. How they enjoy living their dream and watching their business scale. Get the exact checklists they use to go from stressed to fulfilled using the Strategy Sprints method. Order your copy of Strategy Sprints 12 Ways to Accelerate Growth for an Agile Business on Amazon today. And if you love it, leave us a review.